Hi everyone, welcome to the Climate Launchpad Global Final 2021. My name is Lisette Wellens and I'll be your host for the coming days. I am super excited to see so many green innovations and I can't wait to watch all the pitches. I'm sure you guys also can't wait to get started, but before we dive into the semi-finals, I'd like to tell you something more in advance. As you know, you're going to pitch against each other on the international stage of the Global Final. It takes part in two stages. We have the semi-finals today and the grand final on Friday. Only 16 teams will make it to that grand final and tomorrow we know who. How do we select the top 16 winners? All pitches are divided in 7 different topics, green topics. The top 2 of each of those topics will enter the grand final. That leaves 2 spots in the top 16 and those will be filled with 2 wildcards for teams that made an exceptional impression on the jury. The overall winner receives 10,000 euros, the runner-up gets 5,000 euros and the ID that comes in third place wins 2,500 euros. And the entire top 16 wins direct access to the Climate Launchpad Accelerator program. But winning is overrated. The real prize is that you get to build your business and find a customer that's willing to pay for your product. Climate Launchpad helps you just do that. Now, let's get this party started and let me begin by welcome the one and only woman leading Climate Launchpad to the stage, Emily Bronsing.
Hi,
welcome. Nice to see you.
Welcome. Nice. Hi. Welcome everybody here on the 8th edition of the Climate Launchpad program this year. And a special welcome, of course, to all our entrepreneurs, the national leads, the trainers, of course, the moderators, and all the 28 jury members that will be involved today. Yeah, for selecting the best top 16.
Yeah.
So very excited.
Yeah, I have some questions for you. Let's start with something about the competition. What's it like this year?
This year we started the program in March, April. We received more than 2,150 applications in more than 55 countries.
Wow.
And out of those 2,000, more or less 2,000 applications, we selected 900 teams that went through all the different boot camps, 2-day boot camps, and afterwards they received follow-up sessions. And afterwards we trained them for the national final. And there they needed to pitch. And the top 3 of each national final was selected for the regional final. And out of those 6 regional finals we had, we selected the best 70 teams. And those teams will pitch their ideas today.
Wow, it's a long way, and now they're here.
It's a very long way. Yeah, it's a very long way. So we trained them well. So
yeah, well, I'm very curious. The pitches will start right away. Do you have a last piece of advice for the teams?
Yeah, that's more focused on the Q&A, I guess. Yeah, during the Q&A, yeah, my way, we train them well, so they know what to do. And I think, yeah, for them the best is to put all their energy and all their skills in it, and to wait a sec before they start answering the questions.
First think, then talk.
So, for example, yeah.
Okay. And what are the criteria that the jury is going to use?
The jury will take a look at, of course, market impact, but also the technical impact, the skills of the team, but also, of course, the climate impact and the social one.
Yeah, there's a lot on stake. Well, yeah. I'm very, very curious how it will end up. Thank you, Emily Bronsing, for being here for now, and we'll see you back, well, very many more times during the coming days.
Yeah, thank you, and good luck for the entrepreneurs. Thanks.
Yeah, in a matter of moments now, all participating teams will go into their own pitching room by using a Zoom link. Teams, if you haven't done so already, please go into your rooms right now. And you will not be able to watch the pitches live today, but they will all be made available to watch on our website from tomorrow on. Also tomorrow is day 2 of our global final when we pick up this live stream at noon CEST. Former Climate Launchpad participants will then tell their stories about, well, how did they get so successful, but also what didn't go that well during their journeys. Yeah, and it's very exciting because we will also announce the top 16 who get to pitch in the grand final on Friday. All right, enough said. Teams, are you ready for some serious pitching? Are the room bosses and moderators ready? And also members of the jury, are you ready? The Climate Launchpad Global Final 2021 is now officially open. Good luck and break a leg.
Here's your team, here's the jury. So if I may I ask Radu please to introduce himself. Unmute please, Radu.
Thank you very much, Mike, for accelerating all the things here. I'm based in Romania, in Timișoara. I'm a community facilitator, entrepreneurial supporter, and also business angel group founder. I'm working with high school kids that are interested in climate change related topics, and I'm myself a supporter of several local startups dealing with this field.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Radu. So that's judge number one, Romania, Timișoara, Radu. Let's move on to Amnon, please.
So hi everyone, my name is Amnon and I'm from Israel. Currently I'm a microbiome researcher, so I'm studying the bacteria living on the soil, inside your body, from the bioinformatic point of view. Before that, I was a co-founder of Mirabilis, the makers of ICQ, so the early days of the internet. And I wish good luck to everyone here.
Brilliant, Amnon. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome. And then finally, Frederick, please.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Frederik Wilz. I work for Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit. So this is in Germany's international development agency. And I'm currently working actually with Climate-KIC on a program for climate startups in West Africa and in Latin America with some VCs. So some of you might hear of this program maybe next year or the year after.
Okay, brilliant, Frederick. Very exciting to hear about that. I look forward to finding out more about that one. Great, so these are your judges, all of them experienced, all having been in business and research and other areas. They have been chosen because of their expertise and experience. So welcome, judges. Thank you very much for helping and giving us your time today. So excuse me, I've got somebody else in the meeting room. Frank, I don't recognize the individual, so please could you deal with that one, please? Okay, so here we move on now. So this is the pitching order. There are 11 pitches that we're going to see today. That's quite a lot of pitch material. There will be a small gap between each pitch. This allows our judges just to get some time to look at their scores, feel through whether they've got the right information, or to make sure that when we get to the actual moderation period, they can ask me to go back to the original pitch, look at the material, and make sure that they get the right scores in the box. Okay, great. There's the list. So each of you in your pitch order, you probably already know where you're going to be. If you make sure you've got the individual ready to give the questions and answer period responses, we'll come to you at that point in time. So, well, it's over to you guys now. Here come the pitches. We'll be fixing climate change one startup at a time, just in time for COP26. Amazing timing of the CLP final. We might even have a situation where Climate-KIC announces the winners at COP26. Wouldn't that be awesome in front of nearly 30,000 people? So our first pitch today, our first startup is about to commence. First startup.
Watsan makes natural water purifiers which needs no electricity to run, does not waste water, is easy to assemble and lasts longer than 10 years. We are one of the few thousand companies in the world to get the solar impulse efficient solution label. We are trying to reach out to the 163 million people who face a daily struggle to access clean drinking water. Our
Sorry,
water
Mike,
purifiers
I can't see any
using
video.
nanofiltration leaves away the impurities.
I didn't manage to see any video. Do the others see a video?
Judges, can you see the video?
Okay, so it's local. 1 second, let me try to figure out what's going on.
So I was also not able to hear the voice, somewhere broken.
Sorry, Chandra, what did you say?
I was also not hearing some voice in between. There was some break in between, but I did a continuous one.
I will restart the DVD in a moment.
Can you restart it? Yeah, please. Thank you.
Any idea how I can fix it? Because I kept seeing your screen instead of the video.
You're
If someone
seeing
has an
just
idea.
my screen. So everybody else can see the video, but you can't at the moment.
I'm getting your viewing Mike Goodflow's screen, but I keep seeing you instead of the video.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, I think I see it now. Wait. Okay, now I can see it. Sorry, my mistake. Okay.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, everybody, I'm just going to go back to the beginning of the presentation. So just give me a sec as I will escape the pitch. No, let me just think. If I escape, yeah, hang on. Here we go. Okay, so we're just reloading. And we'll go all the way through the slides and start the pitch again. So before I start, all judges, you can see the full slides.
Excellent.
And you should also be able to see, let me just hang on a minute. I just need to make sure that you have got sound from the DVD.
Watsan makes natural water purifiers which needs no electricity to run, does not waste water,
Have you got
is
sound?
easy to assemble and last longer than 10 years. We are one of the few thousand companies in the world to get the solar impulse sufficient solution label. We are trying to reach out to the 163 million people who face a daily struggle to access clean drinking water. Our water purifiers using nanofiltration leaves away the impurities on the top vessel, filters and gives the pure drinking water in the bottom vessel, and we sell it just for 21 euros. The top scientific institutions of the countries has accredited and given the license for using their logos in my water purifier. We are trying to target the 2.74 million BPL families in my state, Tamil Nadu, where the water crisis is very high. And then we are trying to reach out to the 600,000 villages, which is almost 72% of the population, who do not have access to drinking water. So we are targeting 2% of this market in 5 years. And in the whole world, apart from India, there are other 9 countries which are living with the greatest number of people without access to safe drinking water, and slowly we will try to expand to those regions as well. Looking into the advantages and the customer value proposition, all big brands do remove pathogen, color, odor, turbidity, but Watsan is the only company which can remove heavy metals, fluoride and arsenic, which are killer elements. We supply the standalone water purifiers, which is 15-liter one, to the largest one of 2,500 liters, catering to a small home to the bigger community. And apart from the competitive advantages of no wastage of water, no electricity, no replacement of filter media, and by retaining and by removing the killer elements like arsenic and fluoride using nanofiltration, most importantly, Watsan is the only water purifier which retains essential good minerals and salts to naturally build immunity and bone strength, unlike the RO plants in the name of tedious, remove every element. We had a customer discovery in collaboration with World Vision India. We interviewed 2,000 families and we found out that they were ignorant about the waterborne diseases, could not afford to buy waters. Even if they buy bubble top cans, they were not sure if the water was potable. In regions where arsenic and fluoride were there, they found no remediation. Most women or children walk miles to fetch water, and they could not test the water because there was no lab in their vicinity. So Watsan trained almost 2,000 women with a handheld testing kits to test the water and remediate instantly. And we built a water ATM and we loaded it on vehicles which can go to the source fetch the water, remediate it, and give it at the doorstep of the women. Invest to reach 1 million households within my state in 3 years, with the key driver of long life, return on investment, and zero water wastage, affordability, and removal of killer materials. Looking into the market of 41 million products in the country with a meager cost of 21 euros, we are trying to reach out 163,000 products per year. Now, looking as what Director General of World Health Organization said, investments in water, sanitation and hygiene are no regrets investment which pays a rich dividend in health, human rights and inclusive economic growth. So invest in Watsan and stay happy. We are trying to replace the RO filters which are spewing almost 3 trillion tons of wastage in PFA chemicals and the membranes which are dumped as landfills, and the water wastage is a phenomenal 50%, and we have to stop that. Watsan filter media is siliceous material and is a natural material which is not a landfill. We have already reached 330 happy families in the country, and surprisingly, when we looked into the carbon emission which we have saved in the rural areas by stopping electricity, that was 21,750 million tons, and in the rural areas by stopping firewood to boil water, we have saved 15.6 million tons of carbon emission. My team has a combined techno-commercial experience of 100 years. We are covering technology, finance, engineering and marketing. My dream before 2026 will be to have a turnover of 8.4 million sales across the globe. Representatives in all states will be there, reaching 1 million households in India and 3 million households across the country, and train more than 20,000 women water warriors who can test and remediate the water on the spot. And Watson believes in woman power, because women are the one who take care of the health and financial stress in a family. So we will be training more women on testing the water and remediating on the spot, and spread it across the globe to reach out the last woman in the last mile. Thank you.
Well, well done, Watsan. Well done, Chandra. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
now then, Watsan, is you're there? Great. Now we have our 3 judges. So Radu, Amnon and Frederick have chance now just to ask you some questions. So I'll come first of all to Radu, if that was all right, please, Radu.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your presentation, and impressive what the size of the project you enroll in. I'm just wondering regarding the indicated price of $21. Is that the production cost, or it will be the money the end user should pay for a unit?
No, basically these are small standalone filters which just cost 21 euros. Mm-hmm. So our production already we have taken back the money what we have invested on the capex. Okay. What we are trying to do is to build up larger sizes depending on the need, and also tailor-made solution as and when. So we don't have any fixed size. The standalone is the most moving product, as I told you, 330,000 households, because in India most of the people are living in rural villages who don't have any access to any government support or electricity or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And
you have already sold several.
Yeah, already I have sold 330,000 households in India, sir, pan India. Yeah. So we are targeting more on the small filter which can reach out any last mile. The larger one again, because they are carbon emitting, plus a lot of membranes are being dumped as landfill, and also the
Chandra,
water for them. Yeah.
Chandra, try and keep your answers short, and try to speak a little bit more slowly, so that we can get we can understand everything you're saying. Thank you, Radu. No, that's all right. Thank you, Radu. May I move on to Amnon?
Radu, could you get my answer, sir, please? Yeah, thank you.
Move on to Amnon now.
Thank you. That's a very impressive presentation and a very good cause. I have 2 questions. First of all, how many people in India have this problem of heavy metals contamination in the water? And the second question is, what is the lifetime of the product? So for how long will it work before something needs replacement?
First question, unfortunately, India is a 130 billion stage country. Almost 83%, that is my second slide showing up. Almost 83% of the population are in rural India who don't have access to clean drinking water. The government has come out with the pipeline supply now, but the problem is it may not be potable water. It may be water coming in, but it may not be potable because of contamination. And the second question is, because these are nano poured clay candles, you have to only rinse, wash again and again. So in fact, my own journey, I started in 2009 as a small proprietary company. I'm still using the filter in my own home and in my factory. So past almost 12 years, I'm using it just by cleaning it regularly and using it. Obviously, the arsenic and fluoride adsorbents will saturate maybe in 2 to 3 years, depending on the percentage of concentration of the contaminant. That is again replaceable. All the add-ons and all the fittings instructions are there in YouTube. And we put sticker in every vernacular language, depending on the state, so that the local man can understand and redo it himself. All do it yourself, madam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amnon. Thank you, Chandra. And to Frederick, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. Very rich. So I hope I got everything. I have three questions, and so the first one, I mean, I understand we look at the technology potential, and I think this presentation just shows the beauty of low tech.
Yeah.
But with low tech comes also the danger of competitors, obviously, copying the product very easily. So I would like to know a bit about, your potential competitors and how you prevent copying, or what is your comparative advantage. And linked to this, I was wondering about your distribution mechanisms. I mean, India is a big country. You also talked about expanding globally. So how do you want to do this? And together, the third question, what are your investment needs for this expansion? Because I guess you need to, really
Great.
be close to the customer. So sounds like quite expensive.
First question is self-explanatory. In fact, it is an interesting question. My government, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, has patented this technology and gave license to almost 154 people. Because if somebody doesn't understand the rheology of clay, which is very dynamic, even in the same pond, one corner the clay will behave differently, the other corner it will behave differently. So I am a chemical technologist with a manufacturing experience of 30 years. I was able to zero in on the dynamics of the material when I make the candle. Thereby, I was able to standardize the product. That is why we have reached this many households. The remaining 153 people are already out of the race. They have stopped the business because this is not a much yielding profit-making situation. But whereas I am a social entrepreneur, it is for the love of my country I do this. And that is the reason, because people demanded and the cost was very low, they are buying it. Second question, replicability is very easy, because in any country, any terracotta or a potter community is there, I can collaborate with them. I can test the rheology and the malleability of the clay. I can check the basic essentials of what type of clay can be put into use. And plastic molding, again, this is done in a government institute where the food grade plastic is being used. So I have 164 alumni who studied with me in plastics across the globe in various countries. So already in touch with them, and they are promised me that they can mold the bodies as well. So I can, at the same cost, bring it to any country, collaborating with the local government who can get me right terracotta clay. And the third question, the distribution, because governments are mostly corrupt in terms of tendering and long processes. Only MNCs go and take the tender. We have collaborated with big NGOs like World Vision India, United Way, WaterAid, Water.org. Through them, we are reaching out to the last mile, and we encourage women, local self-entrepreneurs who are getting educated by my water testing kit. Because
okay, thank you very much, Chandra. We have probably given you more seconds
Frederick, did you get the answer?
Yet. Well, you've done your best, and that will have to do for now. Thank you very much indeed, Chandra.
Frederick, did you get the answer?
Sorry. Yeah, well, I'm sure the judges will decide whether that was good or not, but thank you, Chandra. That's time for you to stop now. Thank you. Well done, Frederick. Interesting questions. I'm just going to put Chandra onto mute there. So what we're going to do now is just have a little bit of time for the judges to
Oh, Mike, sorry, they asked one more question about investment.
Chandra, I'm sorry, that is it now. Thank you very much. He
asked me 4 questions, sir. I have to answer one.
Chandra, thank you very much, but that is it now. Okay, there's a man keen for his new idea, which is fair enough, fair enough. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. So if I leave the judges for a couple of minutes, Chandra, you can now switch off your webcam, please. Judges, if you wish to, please switch off your webcams and we'll give you a couple of minutes. I'll come back to you all in 2 minutes. So that's time, everybody. So Radu and Frederick, if you can come back on screen if you're both ready, and then I'll start. Great. That's Frederick. Great. Thank you very much, judges. Well done. So that's the first time the judges have had to go through the scorecards, make the link between the Zoom system and then back into the cards. So, and it looks like all three judges have managed all of that fine. So great. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, our next startup is Watasumi. Watasumi, sorry. Do forgive me if I make pronunciations incorrectly, but Watasumi and David Simpson. So his pitch is about to commence.
Hello, my name is David Simpson, and I'm the founder of Watasumi. We are revolutionizing biological waste treatment for some of the worst pollution created by the food and drink industry. In Asia, this organic wastewater is often spread to land, which can result in river or sea contamination. Our patented technology converts organic wastewater into renewable energy, and we've designed our system for small and medium-sized companies who want the opportunity to treat their own waste, save costs, and become more sustainable in the same way that large companies have been able to. Our company operates by supplying the wastewater treatment modules onto a company's site, in this case distilleries, and we charge the client a service fee based on the volume treated. This replaces the costly and environmentally damaging disposal method of collection by truck and spreading to land. In addition to cleaning the water, our system continuously generates renewable energy in the form of biogas, which the client can use for heating to create new products, and we use to run our system. Our chosen beachhead market is the traditional spirit distilleries, which in Okinawa is called awamori. We have a long-standing relationship with this industry, and we actually have 2 demonstration sites being completed later this year. We are confident we can capture a 30% share of our beachhead market and expand into the food and drink SME market, both in Japan and in Southeast Asia. This expansion will be supported by the Japanese government and Okinawa Prefecture's positioning in the region. The global market for food processing SMEs is huge, meaning there's a lot of room for growth. Our value proposition is to replace the current method of disposal with our on-site treatment system. This results in a saving of about 30% to the client. Our system is designed to be installed on sites with limited space and does not need an operator because we monitor the system remotely. Biogas provides a constant stream of renewable energy. And finally, the distillery can attract new customers who are interested in reducing the carbon footprint of the products that they buy. So we set out to create a technology that can match the performance of large on-site treatment systems, but with a small footprint. And well, we've done that. Our process takes industry wastewater filled with concentrated organics, and we digest away that contamination, we generate electricity from it, and we leave river quality water to be reused or discharged. We are able to do this by combining 2 microbial communities with our novel electrode system in a process called direct interspecies electron transfer. This reliably produces biomethane and direct electricity, all the while cleaning water. All this was possible by over 10 years of research and development. As we've been working on this project for so long, we've had a chance to get a few things wrong. Firstly, following the money led us to big companies, but they already have on-site treatment systems, so we targeted smaller companies. Secondly, we assumed that conventional treatment systems would be our main competitor, but we found that these technologies do not scale down well for SMEs. And finally, we assumed that any solution that we created, companies would be primarily concerned about the costs. However, we found that SMEs are willing to invest in long-term sustainability. Our target is to capture 30% of our beachhead market by our 5th year, which is a potential 51 million profit per year. This is made possible by the help of small business associations, our low system costs, and our long equipment lifespan. By eliminating the current practice of trucking and spreading, we prevent 730,000 tons of CO2 equivalent being released to the environment. In contrast, our system emits just over 2,000 tons, meaning our system is 99% more effective at reducing carbon emissions. Our team is based in Okinawa as well as remotely, and I've had the pleasure of working with many of them over the last 10 years. As our company emerges from development and into production, I'm wanting to attract more talent to kickstart this revolution and really make an impact on climate change by helping small and medium-sized companies become more sustainable. I thank you for your attention, and I thank you, Climate Launchpad.
Well done. So we've heard of women water warriors, and now we've heard of direct interspecies digestion. Was that right, David?
Direct interspecies electron transfer.
That's more.
They're just communicating with electrons.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you very much. So very clear presentation, and now over to our judges for questions. Are you ready, David? You okay?
Excellent. Yeah, I hope my internet holds up here.
Yeah, so do we all. So let's reverse the order now. Frederick, can I come to you first, please, for your first question?
Yeah, yeah, thanks a lot. Really impressive presentation, and I think very, very clear narrative. So I really like this. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear that you talked about 10 years of research on this. So this is really high tech and probably like very difficult to copy. So, but I nevertheless would like to know about, are there any competitors that you see in the field? I mean, with this customer segment with SMEs, and then second, because I guess the production costs must be quite high. So how are you planning to, if you go into a rapid expansion, how are you planning to cover these costs in the beginning, these capex that you have before actually then sales kick in and you can cover this? Yeah, so these would be, I think, my two questions.
So there are a few emerging technologies. They are also at the startup phase, either utilizing a similar technology or with that kind of electron transfer between species and electrodes. They're mainly in US, and they are mainly targeting the kind of US problems. I'm very much focused on Asia. There's no one that I can find in Asia focusing on the niche that I'm going for. And we do have a few patents kind of protecting us in the major territories, although we are focused on Asia right now. In terms of the costs of producing this reactor, that's where a lot of the research has actually gone, is figuring out materials and methodology to actually put this together in a cost-effective way. And that's kind of what makes this come together as a product. We have the service model, and the reactor costs are actually paid off within 3 or 5 years of the service contract. That includes not just the reactors, but also the groundwork and the connections to their sites. So we actually have quite a lot of experience with these pilot plants on real sites.
Okay, yeah, excellent, thanks.
Thank you very much, Frederick. David, over to Amnon, please.
Hi, that was a very nice presentation, very impressive. I have also 2 questions. The first one is there some solid waste that's produced during this process? And if so, what do you do with this solid waste? And the second question is, at what stage is currently the product? Do you have some experience running in actual customers' places, or is it only prototype? So that's the 2 questions.
Right. So yeah, so largely these distilleries and these beverage producers, food producers, they are producing a liquid waste, which is actually more of a problem for them because it's a large volume, kind of dilute. They would prefer the solid waste because they can actually give that to farmers and they can sort of compost that almost directly. If it's kind of dilute, it's mainly water. That's a big weight to be moving around. That's where the big cost with the trucking. In terms of our system, we kind of extract all the available energy that these microbes are producing. So they don't have much energy left to reproduce. So we don't make a lot of sludge, which is, the term for excess bacteria that a lot of other systems will make. So that's, we've been running these systems for 10 years and we've never had issues with kind of excess amount of bacteria that has to be cleaned out. In terms of the experience we have, I've been kind of over many places in the world doing pilot plants. These are kind of a couple 100-liter reactors. We've also scaled up to 2 cubic meters on a real working site. This is very close to what would be a full-scale system, just not with this current model. So this is our MVP. This is our best push out the door, out of the lab, and into the commercial space. So.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Amon. We have 20 seconds for Radu and the answer in 20 seconds, David. Please go ahead, Radu.
Yeah. So my question is, the CO2 that's still in the methane, in the biomethane you are producing, is calculated in that reduction of the overall CO2 impact?
It is actually not, because that is a so-called carbon neutral CO2.
Mm-hmm.
That CO2 that you see on the presentation, that's from the conversion of the biomethane into an energy source.
Okay.
So, good question, Radu. Thank you very much indeed. Well done, David. You answered very well. I'm just going to make one recommendation to our judges. Keep it for one question, please. And then we can get through all the judges. And then if we've got time, we can come back for number 2. David, well done. Good presentation and clear answers. Thanks. Well done. Thank you very much. And say hello to the dog. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. We're going to move on to give our judges a little bit of time to do their scoring. So judges, please switch off your webcams, and as soon as you're ready, come back on, or I'll be back to you in 2 minutes' time. Thank you, everybody. So please enjoy your 2-minute sojourn break. Run for food if you're getting hungry. Thank you. Thank you, Radu, Amnon, and Frederick. We're all ready. Okay, lovely. Thank you, judges, for coming back, switching on your webcams. That works better for me because then I don't have to keep counting the seconds. Wonderful. And we have Michaela ready from Sleepify. Well done, Michaela. So you're on the ball as well. Everybody's on the ball around here. I'm just hoping I can hold this all together and stay on the ball myself. So Michaela's next up with her pitch coming in a few moments. Thank you, everybody. Next startup, Sleepify.
Today, I would like to start my pitch with a difficult question. Do you know how many mattresses go to landfill in Europe every year? The sad fact is 18 million mattresses go to landfill in Europe every single year. Can you imagine what that number is on a global level? It's a huge problem. But luckily, it's one that Sleepify aims to solve. Hi everyone, my name is Michaela from Sleepify, and our mission is to end mattress waste and make the mattress industry circular. But how do we do that? Well, we provide a circular mattress solution for the B2B hotel industry. Very simply, hotels buy a 100% recyclable mattress from us for a monthly subscription of €20. In return, we deliver a host of innovative services for them to simplify mattress management and help them become more sustainable. But more on that later. Let's firstly take a look at the market potential. The hotel mattress market in Europe is worth 2.2 billion. We will firstly target eco-friendly hotels, which have a growth rate of 3.8% every year. We will target this segment since they care about their environmental impact and because they are mass consumers of mattresses. And if we target just 1% of this market, that equals €3.8 million and 5,000 mattresses a year. But what actually makes us an attractive solution to eco-friendly hotels? It all comes down to cost savings. Our mattress management service cuts upfront costs by 97%. We also provide additional value with our eco-label certification, increased guest satisfaction, and mattress recycling services. And here is what our product looks like. But how does the whole process actually work? Well, firstly, hotels buy their 100% recyclable mattress via our website. We then deliver the new mattress direct to their hotel door and take back their old mattress for recycling. As our mattresses get used, we monitor their hygiene levels and condition using our integrated sensor technology. That way, we know when mattresses need to be cleaned or exchanged. Once the mattress life is over, usually after 5 years, we collect it where it's then resold to extend its life or taken back into the production process where the materials can be reused endlessly. But are our customers actually looking for this solution? We interviewed more than 20 hotels in Vienna, and we assumed that they want an easy and eco-friendly process for their mattress management and maintenance, and that they also prefer flexible payment. We actually found that our assumptions were true. Usually, hotels only change their mattresses when there's a customer complaint or when they get old, and the whole process is annoying, costly, and timely. And we also found they actually really are open to flexible payment, especially with the recent impacts of COVID-19. So, how much can we actually scale Sleepify? If we look at our projected financials for 2025, we can achieve a profit of €40 million and serve 7,000 customers, which equals a 10% market share in our beachhead market. But now, most importantly, what climate impact can we achieve with Sleepify? We save 33 kilograms of CO2 per mattress, summing up to 165 tons of CO2 in our beachhead market. That's actually 87% less than with conventional mattresses. And we also save 33 cubic meters of landfill space with each ton of mattresses that we recycle. And here is a team of doers who makes the Sleepify magic work. We are an international team, majority female founded company, with experience in the startup and corporate space. Our shared dream is to wake up in a world where waste is no longer a problem. We want to achieve a 10% market share by 2025 and save 1 million mattresses from going to landfill by 2030. Our ask to you today is, dream with us and join us on our mission on fighting mattress waste. Sign up now via our website. Thank you. I think you're on mute, Mike.
Thank you, Michaela. I told you somebody's going to drop a ball sometime soon, and that was me. Thank you, Michaela. So a almost perfect presentations format, etc. And we have a team of doers now with Michaela from Sleepify. So Michaela, thank you very much for your pitch. That was very, very good. And I'd like to open up to our judges, and switching it around again, I'm going to go to our middle judge, Amnon, please, for the first question of this session.
Thank you. That was very nice presentation, very impressive. I have a question. Can you a bit talk more about the sensors you're talking about in the mattresses? What exactly do they sense?
That's a great question, because I was worried about that too.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Amnon. The sensors are there to measure things such as humidity, temperature, and usability. And the main reason we have those sensors is to actually measure the usage and the cleanliness of the mattresses. So it's all about the circular economy principles of really trying to extend the life cycle for as long as we possibly can. And also at the same time, educating our customers on that exact issue. For example, in hotels, they usually throw away mattresses, usually after 3 to 5 years, huge waste that isn't necessarily needed at that time. So we're also trying to educate that we can offer cleaning where the mattress then is also extended in its life as well. Hope that helps to clarify.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Let's move to Radu, please.
So again, very good pitch, and yeah, a problem that most of us will probably only sense 5 years after purchasing a mattress. My questions would address the innovation layer. Are you focusing only on the process, on the service that brings the mattress to the hotel and returns it to the factory that will renew it, or you are also putting effort in innovating the mattress, the product, the object there?
Yes, so to answer yes to both parts. So we see ourselves as a platform who's creating the circular solution with a series of partners. As I'm sure everyone here today is well aware of, circular economy requires collaboration. So we're very much aware of that and bringing in best-in-class partners to help us with parts of the circle where we're not experts. But with the product, we are entering into a product design process where we are working on the prototype together again with experts, but we are the main drivers in that process.
Well done. Thank you, Radu. Thank you, Michaela, for that. And now finally over to Frederick, please.
Yeah, thank you, Michaela. I mean, I really felt like I want to take a nap when I was listening to your presentation. I mean, it sounds awesome. And all these high-tech sensors. But just coming from Germany, and I had to buy some mattresses myself in the last years. And I know, and there's, I mean, this industry apparently changed a lot in the last 5 years with all these kind of startups selling mattresses. So I can at least say that for, let's say, for the retail customers, I mean, there are a lot of options of, you know, cool startups selling new mattresses. So I would like to know a little know about your kind of the competitors you see in the B2B market, and why do you think you will be faster than the others?
Yeah, very good question. And I know exactly the startups you're referring to. And That's also a huge motivation for us to really push Sleepify forward, because no disrespect to them, but they are part of this waste problem. And that's where we see the change really needs to happen. So in terms of competitors on a B2B level, it's obviously other hotel mattress providers and providers who are also potentially in B2C coming out with circular solutions who might then move into B2B. We're seeing there's not many players there right now who have an all-in-one circular service. We are seeing some circular mattresses slowly being developed and coming out. There's only one right now, and it's in the Netherlands, mostly on B2C level. So yes, to answer your question, the competition is coming, but that's very much due to the fact of the regulation that's also coming. Quick figure that really stunned us. By 2050, with the Paris Climate Agreement, hotels will need to reduce their emissions per room by 90%. Huge problem they're facing there. So we see our solution as a way to help them get there faster. And that's where we really see our unique advantage as a startup as well.
Brilliant, Michaela, very well answered. And any final question from Amnon, please go ahead.
Yeah, so another question about regarding the cost calculation. So I was a bit lost. You said it was like 20 euros per month, right? If you multiply it by 12 months, 5 years, you get something like around 1,000 euros. How does that compare to the price of regular mattress for 5 years?
Yeah, so great question, one we get asked a lot. To give you a good comparative, the average hotel mattress costs around 600 euros for the market we're targeting. Our mattress subscription would take 2.5 years to get to that 600 euros. But with that, we provide the add-on of circular services throughout, such as cleaning, logistics, delivery. So we hope to see a lock-in effect from our customers after that 2.5 year mark, and also through the fact that we deal with the mattress life cycle element as well. In terms of the cost calculation, it's done using the financial tree provided by ClimateLaunchpad. So the model does have some small limitations, but everybody in the competition has to use it. So yeah, it's based on cost per mattress to our customers. And quick last comment, we're using a financial partner there to help us with the subscription element, since obviously being a startup, we can't take that full risk ourselves.
Well done. Thank you, Amnon, for that more detailed question. Well done. Thank you, Michaela. You did very well with your answers. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, everybody. So we'll just take a couple of minutes now for our judges just to make sure they're okay with the scores. So please, judges, if you're happy, please switch off your webcams for now and then come back in when you're ready, or in 2 minutes, please. Thank you. So that leaves everybody else. You have a chance now to get another cup of tea or whatever it might be before we start off with our next pitch, which I'll just check my list, which is Sages. So Sages will be on in just a couple of minutes. Thank you. So if I could ask for the team sages, whoever's going to be taking the question and answers, if you can please come online. So I know you're there. Alice, thank you very much, Alice. Well done. Great stuff. So we've got all the judges back in the room. We have Frank Rumboss. Can you let in or check Camilo for me so that person can come in? All right then, everybody. So welcome back to the next startup pitch from Sages.
Think about the clothing you have in your wardrobe. Up to 99% of this clothing will be dyed using chemicals. These chemicals are polluting our environment. They are highly toxic, carcinogenic, and even explosive. Absorption into the skin can result in rashes, headaches, trouble concentrating, and even seizures. But there is a solution. Natural dyes by Sages. So what does Sages do? So in essence, we take food waste and we turn this into natural dyes. This is a process you can do on a very small scale in your own home, but the resulting dye will be a liquid dye, and this dye is difficult to store and doesn't have a long shelf life. So what we do is we take this liquid dye and, using our innovative spray drying technique, convert this into a powder, mix it with fixatives so it can be sold to textile manufacturers within the fashion industry. And we're looking to sell our dyes for £100 per kilogram. The initial market we're looking to target are the 115 vertically integrated textile companies within the UK. We'll then be looking to expand to the overall UK dye market, valued at 97 million, and moving on to the European dye market, valued at 6.2 billion. But how do our dyes compare to those existing on the market? When compared with existing natural dyes, such as madder root, indigo, cochineal, for example, we are significantly cheaper. These range between £250 to £350 per kilogram, whereas we are £100. Synthetic dyes are a little bit cheaper. However, we envisaged once we're able to scale and have larger manufacturing facilities, that we'll be able to meet the synthetic dye price more head-on. We envisage this will happen around 2026. So our dyes are 100% natural, sustainable, and vegan. They're derived from food waste, which helps us tackle the 9.5 million tonnes produced by the UK each year. We are a cheaper and affordable natural alternative to existing natural dyes. We have an innovative production method, and we have a unique range of colours which we've been developing. But most importantly, we come without the dangers of synthetic azo dyes. During our customer discovery and our conversations with 20 suppliers and manufacturers, some notable ones being Spintex, Hemp London, and AW Hainsworth, we went into these with the assumptions that our product might be considered too risky as it's new, a little bit too expensive in comparison with synthetic dyes, and possibly too complicated to integrate into existing production processes. However, we learned that the manufacturers and suppliers we spoke to were open to the costs when pioneering a new technology. They're happy to look at changing some of their production processes to integrate our product. However, we did find that lots of the people we spoke to were after a little bit more testing, such as UV testing and colour fastness testing, and this is something we are currently developing. So for our finances, by year 5 within our beachhead market, we're looking at having a 20% market share, giving us 23 customers and a profit of 2.6 million per year. Our 3 key drivers are the amount of customers we have, the quantity of dye we sell per sale, and our profit margin, which currently stands at 48% for wholesale purchases. For our climate impact, we save an average of 11 kilograms of CO2 per kilogram of powdered dye produced when compared with synthetic dyes. This gives us an overall saving of just shy of 14,000 tonnes of CO2 within our beachhead market in year 5. We also have a range of other environmental and human health benefits. The textiles industry is the second biggest polluting industry in the world, and 80% of these emissions come from the liquid waste caused by the dyeing process. Our process results in zero liquid waste. It results in purified water, and this water can then be used multiple times over, resulting in less water usage throughout our process overall. We are a passionate team of master students from London College of Fashion, with a range of industry experience ranging from high street design, luxury production, fashion design management, business, and also running our own startups. Our dream is to create a sustainable natural alternative to synthetic dyes. to become a leading supplier of natural dyes and to create meaningful employment. We want to set up localized dye hubs, and within these hubs, we'll be looking to employ those who are vulnerable within the area to give them skills to be employed within the fashion industry. Thank you for listening, and I'll pass you over to Alice for any questions you may have.
Well, an almost perfect pitch. My goodness, well done to Emily. And she's even planned, or your team have even planned to hand over to Alice in the pitch as well. Really good thinking, really good planning. Well done. Okay then. So we have our judges ready to ask the questions. If I could start off, please, with Radu.
Yeah, congrats for tackling on a colorful problem. Congrats for having a 100% young women team. And what I would like to know is how advanced are you at this stage in the chemical part of the process? Apparently, there's no specialized professional in your team.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Yeah.
Please.
So the dyes we've been developing, I've worked with a spray dryer based here called Drytech to develop the dyes we have at the minute, and we're currently looking to work also with Leeds University and have a dye specialist on hand there. We're in the process of working out the details of that. But we have developed a range of colours at the minute. We have 12 colours. What we're looking at doing now is the fastness is pretty good. We're working on making the UV testing even better, so it lasts even longer in the sun. But in terms of adhering to the fabric and the fixatives we're using at the minute seem to be working really well, so we're sticking with that. We're using a natural fixative called alum, which is something you might even find in food. It's used for pickling. So everything we're using, we're trying to focus on making it less harmful to the world and harmful to people as they wear it.
Thanks.
Very good. Well answered. Thank you, Radu. If I can move on, please, now to Amnon.
Very nice presentation. I have a question. Can you tell the story, for example, how one dye is made? Like, what's the starting material that you begin with and until you get to the end product?
Yeah, sure. I'll run you through the beetroot one. So waste beetroots, we're working with farms to take the products they can't send to supermarkets either because they're misshapen or whatever, but that's what we take. That's then boiled in liquid. Say we use 500 grams, that would produce about 10 litres of usable liquid. We boil that for about 3.34 hours, depending on which recipe we're doing. That liquid then needs to fully cool, and then at that stage we would add either acids, alkalines, or baking powders that would adjust the colour according to what we want it to do. Darker colour for alkaline and so on. That liquid is then run through a spray dryer. Spray dryer is the thing you will use within pharmaceuticals, or if you wanted to get like a powdered food or something like that, like baby milk, baby formula that's made using the spray dryer. Which basically what it does, it evaporates off the liquid, leaves behind whatever was in the water before. In this case will be our pigments, our powder. That powder is then mixed with our fixatives, in this case alum and a couple of other things. And for about, I think it was 10 litres of water, we get about 175 grams of powder, which is then usable. And then the water we leave over, we can keep reusing again back to the boiling process. So that's the circle of it.
Very good. It's a shame that beetroots are not all being eaten. They're just gorgeous. I love beetroots.
It's amazing the amount of waste that farmers are meant to throw away. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Thank you, Alice. And over to Frederick now, please. Although Frederick is frozen at the moment, so we may have a problem there. So judges, please be prepared for another question. Frederick, please. Okay. Let's move back to Radu, please. Radu, would you have another question, please, for Alice? Oh, Frederick, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, I just got some of the line dropped.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, very cool, cool thing you're doing. Really like it. I understand, if I understand correctly, I mean, you're right now working on the prototype.
No, we have a range of colors at the minute. What we're doing is some of them still need work in terms of the UV testing.
Okay.
They stand up pretty well in the sun so far. but it does need more intensive testing. Our pink is still a little bit, but the other colors we have perfectly fine, ready to use. We're actually looking at sending samples to, we're working in partnership with a few textile manufacturers in York. We're looking to send them samples soon so they can test it within their own product and see for themselves what it does.
Oh, okay. So what are the biggest risks you see between now and actually selling the product to the customers? What could go wrong between now and
The only thing currently standing in the way is our production. We're limited in how much we can produce at the minute. We're looking into funding in order to buy a larger spray dryer so we can produce even more. But we have had a lot more interest initially than we were expecting. And we're currently in a situation where we need to produce more, but can't. That's the main issue we're facing right now, is how to grow our facility so we can produce more. But other than that, it's also convincing people, convincing them to try our product is something that we're trying to do, especially the larger retailers. Like we did have their Tesco and Sainsbury's. We're looking at maybe using their food waste to produce dyes for them. So it's benefits on both ends, but it's convincing them to try it and give it a go.
Well done. Judges, thank you very much indeed. Alice, well done to you and your team on an excellent presentation. Well done. And the preparation for the answers as well is very good. Thank you. So we'll now leave the judges a couple of minutes now to check out their scores. And again, please, judges, if you can turn the webcams on and then come back when you're ready. So everybody, you have a couple of minutes. My lunch has just arrived. Incredible. I've got a really good service here. So we can start having a nibble as well. Enjoy the next couple of minutes as we wait for our judges to complete their scoring. Thank you. So if our next team, that's Biotalega, Yefa, if you're doing your pitch, if you can just come on now. There he is. Great, Yefa. Good. Thank you very much, Yefa. I now know you're here. Well done, sir. And we'll be starting your pitch very shortly. And there we are. All our judges are back in the room. Thank you very much, judges. Working them hard. No breaks for the judges, that's for sure. Guys, if you do need a bit more time coming up soon, please don't worry about taking a bit longer, because you do need a break at some point. But now we have our next pitch for today. And Yefa is the man presenting on behalf of Biotalega. I hope I say that right, but Yefa will correct me when he gets the chance. So Biotalega.
Hi, everybody. As I stand here, there is a huge plastic island outside Spain, floating in the Pacific Ocean. 40% of all are plastic bags. But there is a hope. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you Biotalega, natural fiber substitute for single-use plastic. Our model is simple. Nature regenerates the planet. We created a ceiling bags, 100% biodegradable and compostable for nurseries, and returned 10 cents US dollar per bag. Our market is huge, with 5,500 nurseries only in Colombia. The market size 5.5 million USA dollars, and the global market is over 2 billion USA dollars. Our value proposition is back is an investment. For 10 cents US dollar, we add value to the final product. How? 50% tiny cheaper than the competition. We increase the final product price plus 8%. Our customer get tax benefits because they are reducing CO2 emission, and we increase the life cycle product 2 times. Our product starts with raw materials, which is natural fiber. It doesn't deforestation, it doesn't compromise food safety. In addition, we support small traditional agriculture communities. Then we develop a biofilm, fully biodegradable and compostable. And finally, we transform it in ceiling bags. We face key assumptions in 2 important things. First, single-use plastic, a serious climate change hazard. And second, plastic bags don't disappear. So when we interview 100 customers, 95% told us we'll buy Biotalega ceiling bag if it increased the value of their products. And 90% told us we'll buy Biotalega ceiling bag if it generates tax benefits. The great news, these 2 things are happening right now. Biotalega has a potential generator over 3 million USA dollars of revenue in the first 3 years with the follow drivers: high scalability production, market share of 10%, and low material costs that result net price per bag 10 cents US dollar. So the Climate-KIC is 50 million times better than the single-use plastic. Biotalega generated a total impact per year less 1,341 tons carbon footprint. It's equivalent over 60,000 trees. In another way, 166 times driving a car around the world. 1,300 passengers flying London, New York, or 2,600 barrels of oil. In addition, plus 100 members of local community employed. So we want to regenerate the planet, eliminate single-use plastic so that our children have a future. Ladies and gentlemen, our founder team, Joana Urango, CMO founder, business administrator, Camilo Sanabria, process advisor, chemical engineer, and myself, Jeffer Guzman, CEO founder, mechanical engineer. Join us and change the planet with Biotalega. Thank you.
Well done indeed. Well done indeed, Jeffer. Good presentation.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your pitch for us. So let us now go to our judges, and if we start the other way around again, we'll go to Frederick, please, first of all.
Yeah, Jaffer, thanks a lot. I think this topic is close to all our hearts. So really nice product. I think I keep I'm coming with a similar question again, which is kind of about the competitors. I mean, we use, I mean, in Germany, I can buy, I mean, for my old garbage bin, I can buy recyclable plastic bags. So it kind of, I guess it would be an obvious kind of advancement of the market to go into these industries that you're targeting. So I was just wondering about what, competitors. I mean, it's kind of an obvious fix you have to do. Can you share some insights about your competitors?
Okay, thanks. I think that the first is our guarantee from the customers. I think that the idea is our value proposition. We are working our certification in the ISO 40850 standards. We ratify the biodegradation and compensation characteristics of the film. And the other is mentioned in our value proposition slide with here in Colombia, no produce these special bags, only need to importation the product, but this is a good advantage for the market. And the other characteristic as mean is the reducing the taxes here for complement the goal of government in the reducing the CO2 emission for the Paris Agreement.
All right, okay. Thank you very much indeed, Jeffer. I'll move on, although Frederick looks as if he probably would want another question, but let's move on to our next juror. If I can go to Amnon, please.
I think it's a looks like important subject, what you're doing. I have a question regarding the mechanical properties of your product. So can you say a few words? Is it as stable as, not stable, as strong as plastic? Does it fit the purpose that you're talking about, holding plants, etc.?
Yeah, but this mechanical characteristic is very important. But here is a sealing box. This is only you need to contain the soil at the ceiling for you need to transplant into the ground. And this is when we change the market for the massive bags, I think that the mechanical characteristic is very important for the elongation or very strong for transport a heavy things. But now with the market is only to produce for the nurseries, but this is when transplanted to the ground, the bag becoming composed to the condition. The bags has a high percent of the water, and this is an important plant or vegetable materials that improve the subsoil.
All right, interesting. Thank you. Amnon's nodding furiously there as if he agrees with your answers. Well done on that one, Jeffer. So finally we go to, well, depending on time, we go to Radu now.
Yeah, congrats for tackling such a problem. Wondering if you have the possibility to patent, I don't know, part of your, at least part of your idea or the process of producing it.
Please, you can repeat me?
Yeah, if you can patent to protect your intellectual property on the product.
Okay, but we have a process in the USA for the property process, and with a special partner with us for the External University. With this is we need a special protect our product, but here in Colombia we try to have this product his process in the USA.
All right then, thank you very much, Jeffer. Frederick, can I come back to you for a final question, or Amnon? Frederick, please go ahead.
Well, I think I'm good with questions. So Amon, if you want to go, please go ahead.
I have one more question, if there's time. Can you talk about the starting material of your product? What do you begin with? What is it produced of?
Okay. This is the traditional crops in Colombia. Here the name is C-KIC. This is special for production groups here, and this is the good plant because don't have a special conditional or ambiental conditional, and this is need a low water, and this is no conditional for plant in different high levels here in Colombia.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Jeff, and thank you very much indeed to our judges. We now have a couple of minutes break. Well, we do, but the judges have to get their scores sorted out. So many thanks, Jeff, for your pitch, and we'll let you know how it all goes in due course. So judges, off you go, and Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And on this occasion, everybody, I'm going to take a break myself and have a quick bite. If Tracesurfer, you are next up, your pitch is next. So if I can just see that Tracesurfer in the room. Mariano. Great, Mariano, we'll be coming to you in a couple of minutes. So please be ready.
Hey, thank you.
Great, I can hear you too. Okay, so we'll all be back here in a couple of minutes. Perfect. Thank you very much indeed, judges. And thank you very much, Mariano, for being ready as well. So everybody, we have our next pitch of today. It's number 6 in line, and this is Tracesurfer.
Transparency, impact, and purpose is what the new smart consumers will value in their future purchase decisions. Most brands fail to give consumers relevant information about their products and what to do with them after their use, generating tons of unnecessary waste each year. The fashion industry is the second most polluting industry in the world, generating more than 53 million tons of materials each year, and only 1% is recycled. This is what we plan to tackle, and fast. I'm Mariano from Tracesurfer, the smart traceability solution that will help companies recover materials from garments, save production costs, and generate new revenue streams, while successfully empowering their consumers with relevant information, helping them make better consumer decisions. Our deal is to sell smart traceability powered by data stored in a cloud to high street fashion companies for the price of $1 a label and 20,000 labels per deal. Our beachhead market are high street fashion companies in Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile, equivalent to $11 million. After dominating our beachhead market, we will expand to 6 selected countries with an estimate of 110 million. Our customer value proposition is helping companies save production costs by using technology as a powerful tool for garment recovery. With Tracesurfer, companies will have a return of investment of $30,000 a deal, as they will save money by using recycled materials instead of new materials. With Tracesurfer, companies will reduce waste, generate new revenue streams such as resale and repair business models, they will gain new demand in markets and consumers, and will also help them achieve future regulation compliance as the extended producer responsibility. Our product is a smart label easily scannable with a smartphone with data stored in a cloud, where consumers can access the product's provenance encrypted with blockchain. Once the product reaches its lifespan, the consumers can scan the code and return the products to the brand in exchange for customer benefits, closing the loop of the product and allowing fashion brands to recycle the materials. All personal data will be protected by GDPR privacy policy compliance. In order to deliver a whole product and solution to our customers, we made strategic partnerships with technology, recycling, upcycling, and second-hand companies. Our clients will be able to access big data analytics to measure their impact efficiently and detect where they can optimize their processes. We already have a prototype running, and we are currently implementing a pilot project for a fashion company in Uruguay. To validate our assumptions, we conducted more than 20 interviews with potential clients and a survey of more than 300 possible users. We confirmed fashion companies consider their extended waste as a problem and want to implement smart solution to fix it. We realized that brands do not have a precise tool for measuring their environmental impact, a requirement in future governments and markets. We also verified that 69% of the surveyed users are willing to incorporate new consumer habits if it helps reduce climate change. Our future actions are to develop new pilot projects and design a user-friendly technology. With 20% of our beachhead market, the company will have a profit of $2 million a year with a total of 160 customers that represent 20% of the market share. Our key drivers are the price of the product, the cost, and the market share. With 20% of our beachhead market, we will be saving 8 million tons of CO2 emissions per year, equivalent to 1.7 million vehicle emissions in a year. We will also have an impact on water usage, as a single pair of jeans today uses 8,000 liters of water. With Tracesurfer, we could save 4,800 liters of water per pair of jeans, and with our beachhead market, we save 1.8 million cubic meters of water. We're a team of passionate professionals motivated to generate a positive impact in the environment, ensuring that materials are treated intelligently and efficiently. We have the perfect team to deliver this project successfully, with more than 40 years of experience combined. Mariano is our CEO and industrial designer specialized in circular design. Caroline is our COO, a sustainable fashion designer. Joaquin is our CTO, our data science and analytics expert. Leonardo is our software developer and data analyst. Lucia is our UX UI designer, and Pauline helps us with communication and branding. Our dream is to be able to reduce unnecessary waste, extend the lifespan of products and materials, and help people make better decisions with relevant information. By 2030, we want to reduce 100 million CO2 emissions and reach a 50 million company valuation. Thank you very much, and we look forward to your questions.
Well done, Mariana. Very, very good presentation. Well done indeed. So our judges are all online, ready for their questions. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm coming to Amnon first, and then Radu and Frederick. So Amnon, please, over to you.
So thank you for this presentation. I have a question. It will be a bit blunt, but what's preventing the manufacturers themselves from putting a barcode on their the clothes that they're producing? Why do they need you to produce this barcode? What's the added value that you give?
Okay. First, because we are pioneers in the market, we are also generating big data right now with the pilot project that we are implementing. So that way we are having information to really develop the software even more and make it more tailored for every company. And also the cost of implementation is reduced by using our system, because companies don't have to develop an area for that implementation. And also we are working on certifications such as ESG, B Corporation, and Fair Trade to really have these certifications to offer our clients that plus, that advantage.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you,
Thank you.
Radu, please.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. And yeah, data is becoming king. You mentioned that you already generate lots of data. How your clients, have they started to use it? What are they reporting as the benefits of having all this data?
Well, because they can measure, for example, we are doing now with 10,000 products, the pilot. So the companies can really measure how many garments they recover by their clients. So for example, if they produce 10,000 garments and they only recover 3,000, they need to start taking actions to really recover a bigger percentage of that production. And they will also save costs, because when they recover the garments, they will be able to recycle those materials and save money in the production stage, no? And also reduce the natural resource, for example, the water, that is a main issue in the fashion industry. They would reducing the water usage in that way.
Thanks.
All right.
We also, sorry, one more thing. This technology also enables to give the customer smart bins, where the consumers can scan the code and actually select by material, for example, 100% cotton, 100% polyester, wool. So the company already is sampling and sorting the materials, for the correct recycling.
All right, Mariana, thank you very much indeed for your answer there. Can I now go on to Frederick, please?
Yeah, thanks. My brother worked in this industry, so I feel it's really good to see. I was just wondering about the product. So if I'm a customer and I would scan this label, I mean, can I go only to the brand, to the shop where I bought that product, or can I kind of basically go to any kind of shop or brand which is participating in this? So basically, could I go with my H&M to, let's say, I don't know, another brand? So is it kind of all towards with one brand, or for me as a customer I can go anywhere and yeah?
It's both ways. We are making local agreements with upcycling and recycling companies. So the brands can make those agreements with those companies or second-hand shops. But we also give the consumer the option to return it to the brand for an exchange of a discount or some benefit. But also, if they want, they can send it to an NGO or a recycling facility that it's already aligned with the brand. So first we will have to give alliances with the brands, like local agreements with brands, with recycling facilities or upcycling facilities or second-hand shops.
Okay, so I can send it right to HMM, or I can send it right to the recycling facility.
Exactly. If H&M has an agreement with that recycling facility, you know, it's like a prior thing to do. So that when you scan the code, you have all the different options you can do after you use the product.
Okay, well done. Thank you very much indeed, Mariano, and thank you very much indeed,
Thank
judges.
you.
Well done, Mariano. So thank you for your pitch, your questions, and now we give our judges a couple of minutes to score our competitors, and we'll see you all back here in 2 minutes or so. Thank you very much. So I'm now looking for the representative for Oleatex. Checking.
Hello.
Hello. Is it checking?
It's Sechkin.
Sechkin. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Sechkin, will you be giving the answers?
Yes, I will be.
Excellent stuff. Well done. Okay. Well, we'll be ready very, very shortly for your pitch to start, and I'm glad that I found you. So it's Sechkin.
Yeah, Sechkin.
Sechkin. Okay. Please forgive me for my pronunciation.
No, so it's okay. It's a bit a hard name for non-Turkish people.
Yeah. Well, it's even worse for the English. We're lousy at getting names right. Absolutely pathetic. I had a wonderful time in Turkey recently. I went for a wedding. One of my friends got married to a princess from Turkey. Wonderful. Right, we're just waiting for Amnon and we'll be ready for your pitch. So let me just get myself sorted out. So if you can go to mute and we'll come to you in a few moments' time. Here we are. There's Amnon. He's ready. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to our next team, which is Oleatex.
Hello, my name is Sechkin, and I'm responsible for business development and sustainability of Oleatex. And Oleatex is a plant-based, 100% vegan and a sustainable leather produced from olive industry waste and other bio-waste. Textile materials can be categorized into two main groups, natural materials and synthetic materials. Among natural ones, although animal leather is advocated as a byproduct of the meat industry, it is a huge problem in itself as the biggest pollutant of the entire textile industry. On the other hand, artificial leather has emerged as a more environmentally friendly alternative. However, this is not a complete solution either. The raw materials used make artificial leather the greatest pollutant among synthetic materials. It is only as sustainable and vegan as any other plastic material. With the awareness of these problems, we carried out long R&D studies and developed Oleatex as a solution that is both sustainable and scalable. Oleatex can be used in all areas where real and artificial leather is used. We initially sell Oleatex in rolls mainly to fashion brands as a typical B2B model. Global bio-based leather market is expected to reach $11 billion by 2025. Our beachhead market is fashion brands with a sustainable vision in Europe and our scale-up strategy is to target sustainable brands at a global scale. Oleatex offers additional values with its bifold environmental benefits for olive and fashion industries, helping brands to comply with the regulations in a sustainable way. Its capability to supply continuously in large quantities and ability to produce on-demand custom alternatives. We also have proven the quality of Oleatex with more than 30 physical and chemical tests, making it even lighter and less flammable. Unlike competitors, Oleatex refuses to use materials derived from resources with nutritional value such as PLA. That's why every single percent of bio-based ratio has a greater value. All these features make Oleatex the best alternative in terms of price, quality, and sustainability. So how do we do it? We first collect waste pumice and other industrial waste without any nutritional value from factories and run a proprietary production process. Afterwards, we prepare Biotalega, our blend ready to be used in production. The rest is actually typical artificial leather production, the key feature that makes Oleatex scalable. Oleatex is 63% bio-based and certified by USDA and InsertCo. It is the first and only alternative produced from olive waste with no alternative use. And while our competitors require shipping raw materials from long distance or to carry out agricultural production, Oleatex's journey from trash to treasure is completed at very close range locations, providing a cost-effective and sustainable production process. We have received more than 50 requests from global brands to local boutiques so far. What we have learned from the meetings and interviews we made is price is still the primary decision criteria for most of brands and customers. Helping brands with the regulations is a great value, and their main expectation from Oleatex is high performance and machinability. Our goal is to create 23 million euros of annual profit with a capacity of almost 2 million meters in 3 years. The key drivers to reach this goal are deal size per customer, production cost, and net sales price. We support 11 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, all 3 criteria of the Fashion Pact, and already in cooperation with organizations. By covering 35% of the beachhead market, Oleatex prevents 40,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year, which is equivalent to 6 million pairs of Nike shoes emissions. It's also worth to mention the carbon emission prevented from incineration of waste pumice. Our team members are highly experienced in textiles, entrepreneurship, sales, polymer engineering, and product design. We also have an advisory board for sectoral and scientific processes. We are a huge team together with local communities and SMEs that we are uplifting. Our dream is to eliminate the use of petroleum-based and non-renewable resources for leather production, to achieve 500 million euros of valuation by 2025, and to finalize the recycling line and launch 100% bio-based Oleatex in 12 months. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Seeking.
It's okay.
Checking. I'm sorry that the slides and the
it was not synchronized. I don't know why, but
no, it wasn't your fault because I saw this earlier on today and it ran perfectly fine. I think we just probably had a bandwidth issue. So if we have any questions from our judges where they might want to go back into the slide material, then I'll try my best to get back in there for them, just in case it didn't quite sync for them. But we'll try our best there just to make sure everything's right. All right, so thank you very much for that. Very, very good presentation. Very good indeed. Can I start off, please, with Radu, please?
Thanks a lot for the presentation. In order to understand the scale of such an operation, what would be an initial investment you need in order to set up production and get the end product at the indicated cost?
Thank you for the question. It's a good question. So actually the case is, since we are able to produce Oleatex in existing facilities, we actually don't require lots of initial investment. So we don't need to set up a facility. We don't need like advanced techniques or that kind of things. So if we can only balance the financial equation between getting the money from customers and paying money for manufacturing, we actually don't need that much initial investment. So we just need to keep working and paying for the people in the company, already in the company. So for the business to start up in a large scale, the only thing we need to do is have a good financial balance. That's all.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Radu. We'll move on to Amnon, please.
Very nice and impressive. Can you say something about why specifically olives? Is it because of their chemical properties, or is it because it's a large reservoir of unused material? Why did you choose olives, and what's the advantage of using the olives?
Thank you. So there are actually a few main points here. The first is, so this is the correct waste because it has no nutritional value, no other uses. The only way that waste pomace is used is it's being incinerated for the purposes of energy generation. And when you do that, you actually generate at least 10 to 12 times more carbon. It results in 10 to 12 times more carbon emission compared to coal. So this is really a bad use case. And the second is the abundance of the material. There are already around 500,000 tons of waste pomace generated only in Turkey, and it's 6 million tons globally. So we are actually closing a great loop for that industry. So, and the final thing is I want to mention, this is not a filler. We don't just get waste pomace, grind it and feed it in the material. That's not how it works. It's actually a new type of polymer that forms chemical bonds with other types of materials. So that's how we can make it real, actually. These are main three reasons.
Very good. Well done. Good answer. Thank you very much indeed. And then finally, we move over to Frederick, please.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe because of the presentation and your voice being a bit not synchronized, I didn't get fully like since you said the production is actually happening in factories which don't need to change much. So where's your venture kind of, what is the production of the product where your venture is coming in? Is it collecting the waste and then producing this first stage product which then is used for making this Biotax? So where are you coming in, and where are you then actually selling a certain product for further advancement?
So what you can think that you can assume that there are two main stations before we end up with the ladder. Mm-hmm. The first, after we collect the waste, so the locations are very close to each other. Like we collect olive from a city called Bursa, that waste, and in like 100 kilometers, we turn that into a type of biopolymer. That's proprietary process I mentioned. And we delivered that to another 50 kilometers away production site, and we turn it into Oleatex itself. So another benefit, two main benefits of doing this is actually three. First is, it's apart from the material, the process is really sustainable. The second is we have the ability to convert existing facilities to a more sustainable state with our know-how and our materials. So we are transforming an existing industry. And finally, our aim is to start technology licensing. So we don't want to send this produce the material here in Istanbul and deliver it to the other side of the world. Instead, we will just prepare that Biotax raw material, and we can ship it to anywhere in the world who is already producing artificial leather. Or another final option is to produce everything in a different location. For example, we can set up that whole processing stages in Italy or in the States. Wherever we have the waste, we can set up the whole process in that location, which provides the most sustainable process and the material.
Okay, just last follow up. So it's a B2B business. Your customers are
Yes.
artificial leather production companies.
Actually, no, we aim manufacturers. For example, manufacturers in fashion brands, or automotive, or aerospace, electronics, furniture. So wherever it's used, we target those B2B companies, yes. But what I just mentioned is our scale-up strategy. We will partner up with existing manufacturers and work together and actually convert their production processes.
Okay, very well done. You did very well with your answers. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
This
Thank you all.
Ancan from Oleatex, Trash to Treasure. Okay, so we're now going to give our judges a couple of minutes to get their scores in, and for our next competitor, which is Wastespresso, to come online so I can see that they're there and able to. There we go, Mimi. Good morning, or afternoon, or even evening, depending on where you are. Thank you very much to the Oleatex team. There's me. Is it Mini? Mini?
It's Mine.
Mina. Okay, yes. Mina. So a couple of minutes, your presentation will start, and then we'll be coming to you for questions in due course. So everybody, a couple of minutes. See you back here in a moment. So we have Amnon back in the room. Still, our judges still working, so we'll just give them a little bit more time. There's Radu rather, sorry, and we'll just give Frederick a little bit more time, and then we'll be on our way. Ah, he's coming in. Okay, we're all ready. Thank you very much indeed, judges. I know it's difficult. Judges got to drink, eat something, walk around, get some exercise, and they're doing it all out of the goodwill. So wonderful. Here we go then. So our next presentation then is from Wastespresso.
I am Minoka and I am responsible from business development at Wastespresso. Today I'm going to present you what Wastespresso is and what we are aiming to do in the future. First of all, as Wastespresso, we want to build a waste-free world with coffee grounds. We collect coffee wastes from our customers to create environmental value by managing their coffee waste and reducing their plastic consumption. We produce biodegradable and disposable single and multi-use plastics and environmentally friendly raw materials by passing the coffee waste through the sorting process, and then we direct sell to our customers with boxes. Since there is no other company that implements our business model exactly, we want to go global as soon as we possible. After dominating the Turkish market, we aim to expand in England and then the USA. There are 4 main criteria with determining these target markets. First of all, coffee consumption and domestic consumption, the waste management market, and of course, the regulations. First of all, we want to expand in the UK because we plan to take an active role in the global coffee waste management, together with various outsourced partnerships with leading waste management companies. Since the disposable cost of discarding coffee globally is an advantage for us. There are many sustainable solutions in single and multi-use plastics market there, but they are not preferred due to their prices. As Wastespresso, we want to meet this demand because all of our products are 70% cheaper than the other solutions. First of all, we collect coffee wastes from various locations, and then we produce raw materials in our own facility. Then we outsource of our extrusion and extruder process. And then our products are ready to deliver to the customer with our third-party partners. All of our products has a coffee ground based and fertilizer efficiency, and we have a strict policy about the zero waste. We did our, as you can see on the left, we did our meeting with the companies that we positioned as early adopters, which are coffee shops, hotels that are looking for sustainable products in their businesses. After that process, we did our market fit process with partnering with the plastic manufacturing companies. And then we achieved key findings by comparing our products with our competitors, which are wide product portfolio, ability to meet demand, affordable products, and high recycling rates. According to our assumptions, that based on the trials data that we did in the market fit process, we plan to make a profit of 14 million Turkish liras in 1 year. First of all, we are not aiming to make a lot of profit at first because our aim is to increase sustainable awareness and introduce Wastespresso to the market because we want to take part in the other market like durable good plastics market. Yearly, more than 381 million tons of plastic waste and daily consumption of 2.5 billion cups of coffee waste pollutes our world and also emitting methane and carbon dioxide gases which contribute to global warming. With 70% of the beach market, we want to save 14 billion emission kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions. As Wastespresso team, our hopes, our aim is to create environmental awareness, expand global in 3 years, and 14 net profit just in 1 year.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed, Wastespresso. So clear presentation, and I'd like to start our questions, please, with our Judge Frederick, please.
Yeah, thanks, Mine. I love coffee, so I love this idea. That's great. I mean, I was pretty impressed about the climate impact that you mentioned. I mean, this is huge. And then I looked at the slide because I guess it's linked to the 70% beachhead market that you're aiming to get. So this is obviously very, very ambitious. I mean, if you could, get me more comfortable about this number. Yeah, so that's my key question.
About the climate market, we want to increase the emissions because of our process, because we are collecting and then we are producing the plastics that can be goes in nature, and this is why our process is sustainable because we're collecting with our third-party partners and and we are optimize the process to get more sustainable in all process. So we, from the collecting to the distribute to our customers, all of our process is actually based on that. So our beach market is not actually our products. Our whole process actually our beach market in this case, in this slide.
Okay. Did that answer your question, Frederick?
Yeah, I think I have to think a second about it, but if I have another question, I'll come back.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mini. We'll go on to Amnon, please.
That was very impressive. I have a question about your technology. So can you elaborate a bit what makes your technology, your company special with regards to the recycling, or is it just facilitating the connection with other companies?
Actually, we have a technology about drying the coffee process. In our process that I showed you at our slide, we collect coffee waste and then we are producing our raw materials in our own facility. In this facility, we have a special technique about drying the coffee wastes. In this, and we are in the progress to R&D process with this drying process. So our technology is based on our drying process, because after that we have a collect partners, third-party partners after this process, and this is the extruder and extrusion process. So there's the magic in the drying process that in our own facility that we're doing it.
All right. Thank you, Amnon. Thank you, Mini. So magic in the drying process. Maybe we'll find out what it is in due course, but Radu, over to you, please.
Yeah, as this ambitious plan definitely will be followed by probable competitor. How fast can you be in reaching the full functioning of your equipments and system of collection and redistribution of products?
Actually, according to our plans, we want to have our full capacity actually in 3 years, because right now we are producing our products. And the problematic part of that process is the collecting the coffee waste and drying them, because we have a facility, but we have we need to measure facility to take the demand. Because of that, we need that process, that drying process, have to be in bigger facilities. So this is what our needs. After that process, we are always going to look for with smart money, because we see the chance in the smart money industry, in our industry. This is why we have to go to if we want to go big, we want to go to produce our facility process.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you very much, Radu. Thank you, Mini. We do have time for one more question from any judge that would like to ask. Frederick.
Yeah, I mean, just following up on what you shared with me. I mean, do I understand correctly that, I mean, it's a very decentralized business model? I mean, you need these facilities kind of in all countries, because I mean, it's not something you can do from Turkey. It would, so is it very like investment heavy in the beginning to order to set up these facilities? And okay, I see you nodding. So I guess you would have quite big investment needs now at the beginning, no?
Actually, we don't need to have that big of investment in the first process, in the first stage, because according to our plans, first of all, we want to go in the Turkey market, and in the Turkey market, we already have our partners that we are in our process, but in the global stage of our project, we want to go and partner with the big leaders, and we are connecting them from now. So we started to connect them, and we would like to have an investment, and we are doing our investment meetings and our customer meetings in the global. We are in the Turkey basis right now in our project, but we are starting doing the global process from zero, from the now. Right, so we're actually getting ready for the global from the beginning.
Well done, Mini. Well done for seeing that I was calling time there. Thank you very much indeed. Well done with your answers, and thank you all the judges once again. So Minnie, well done. We're going to move on to our next competitor after we give our judges a couple of minutes to make sure they get all of the points down that they need for Wastespresso. So thank you very much, Wastespresso. Now our next presenting team is Skygrid. Would the member of the team who will be answering the questions please come online? There we are, Marvin. Hello, Marvin.
Hello, Mike.
Excellent. We've got great reception. We can see you well. Wonderful. So we'll probably be a couple of minutes and then we'll run your pitch and then we'll come to you for your question and answer session.
All right.
Thank you, Marvin. Okay, so Marvin's ready and the judges are doing their work. We will be back in about a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Great, all of our judges are back. So everybody who's online, we now have our pitch from Skygrid, and here it comes.
Did you know that it takes more than 400 years for plastic to degrade? Now, if you take a walk around Osaka, our capital city, you'd notice that there's a lot of plastic waste everywhere. Our local authorities don't have the capacity to cope with the trash that we generate. Clearly, we have an issue with plastic pollution. The other issue that we have is the high cost of building materials in Zambia. I'm Marvin Banda. I'm the founder of Skygrid Eco-Polysand products, and I'm happy to announce that we have a solution that is sustainable and supports the circular economy ideology. At Skygrid, we recycle plastic waste into eco-friendly paving tiles, which we sell to Lusaka residents who have construction and renovation projects at a price of $3.75 per square meter. Our beachhead market is Lusaka residents who have construction and renovation projects. This is because Lusaka has over 2 million people living in the urban region, and over 70% are employed by the government and the private sector. Lusaka also has the highest demand for building materials in Zambia. Of course, we're going to extend to other market segments like SMEs and the government. Our low-cost production inputs will allow us to manufacture pavers that will offer great value for money for our consumers. They will be 35% cheaper than the current cement pavers on the market. This will translate to savings of $2.05 per square meters for our consumers. Our pavers will be eco-friendly. They'll be manufactured from plastic waste mixed with sand. They'll be 35% cheaper than the cement paver, and they'll be more durable and lighter than the cement paver. The production process will not use any water. Using the same process, we'll also be able to manufacture other eco-friendly products like roofing tiles, building blocks, and fencing posts that cannot be split, nor be eaten by termites. We interviewed over 20 people with our key questions, and we discovered that consumers are prepared to buy our eco-friendly paving tiles if they are production of food and materials, more specifically cement, plastic, aluminium, and steel. Our eco-friendly paving blocks or paving tiles will completely eliminate the use of cement and replace it with plastic waste. With 10% of the beachhead market, we'll be able to avoid for 3,200 tons of CO2 every year and save 21,600 tons of water in a country where more than 4 million people lack access to clean water. Our dream team is made up of Mr. Kaunda Salim, who's an IT specialist, Mr. Norman Banda, who's a laboratory technologist, and myself, Marvin Band, a chartered accountant. And our dream is to create a clean and healthy environment for everyone and to earn at least 240,000 US dollars in profits by year 5 and achieve a 50% market share and to recycle 20,000 tons of plastic every year. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Marvin, for what I can only describe as an almost perfect pitch. Thank you very much indeed. So our judges are now ready for the questions, and I think I'm beginning to lose where I started here, so I'm going to start with Radu, please. Marvin, would you please unmute your microphone? Brilliant, well done, Marvin. Thank you, Radu.
Great, Marvin. Interesting solution to a global problem. I'm wondering what's the current stage in the research and experimenting with actual producing of these styling materials. Have you already reached, I don't know, a milestone of 100 square meters of tiling produced so far?
Okay. At the moment, we don't have the machinery to produce the paving tiles, but they can still be produced from a simple process, which is a bit counterproductive because of the emissions that come out from burning plastic in the open. So we don't do that, but we've been able to produce a prototype, several prototypes. So this is one example of the paving tile from plastic waste mixed with sand. But at the moment, we are not commercial. We are just trying to raise enough funds for the machinery.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Very clear answer. Thank you very much, Marvin. Moving on, please, to Amnon.
So that looks like a very important goal, what we're doing. I was wondering about the properties of the tile that you're producing. In what sense is it better than concrete? In what sense is it less good than concrete? What needs to be worked on to improve? Or is it just equivalent?
Okay, all right. So firstly, this paving tile is almost, I think, slightly more than 2 times stronger than the cement paver. The tests have been done, and there is research already on the internet. So this paver is actually 2 times or almost 3 times stronger than the cement paver. The compression strength for the plastic pavers is about 12 newtons per square millimeter, and while the cement paver is 5 newtons per square millimeter. And also when it comes to absorption of water, this is 5 times better. The cement paver absorbs a lot of water. Meanwhile, our pavers absorb very minimal water. And when it comes to maybe I think for now, I don't see any weaknesses with this, and I think we should switch to this. It's just that there's no one producing these pavers actually currently in the country, in Zambia, but it's not a new technology. It's there in other countries, and I was amazed to find that no one is doing it here, and I hope to do it and expand.
Well done. Again, very clear answer. Well done, Marvin. Thank you very much. And finally, can I come to Frederick, please?
Yeah, thanks. 1.5 questions. John, one just a short question following up on what you just said, Marvin. So your beachhead market is really Zambia, because you mentioned this product exists in other countries, also, I don't know, neighboring countries. So this is your target market, Zambia?
Yes. Our beachhead market is Zambia, but we want to start with the capital city, which is Lusaka. That's where you find the highest demand for building materials. And once we start with the Lusaka residents, we'll expand to SMEs, construction companies, shopping malls. So I think there's a great potential for the company to grow and scale up, because we also plan to engage the government, because there's a shift in there's a new ministry actually for green economy. So they're looking for projects like this.
Okay, so your ambition is really kind of geared to your home country, not so much to other parts of Africa. And just
yes.
Okay, one follow-up question. Like, how do you get the raw material? Do you have kind of companies in Zambia which are collecting bottles, and you can kind of easily buy, tons of collected plastic material? Or how does it work?
Okay, yeah. So in Lusaka, we produce about 1,500 tons of waste per day. So we have collection points distributed close to where the waste is generated. So we have aggregators. People are just found at the dump sites sorting through waste. So we have people are excited and just waiting to come on board to provide these plastics to us, because plastic is like one of the easiest things to collect, and like sorting through metal and other things. So and even the CBD area, we also have collection points that will set up because of the indiscriminate disposal of waste everywhere in the country.
Okay.
Thank you. Marvin, your answers were extremely clear. And obviously there are countries you could expand to, although your focus seems to be
yes,
at the
definitely.
moment. Yeah, there will be. Yeah, okay. Well done for that. Thank you very much indeed. Just going to admit somebody into the room. And Marvin, thank you. Please hang around as you wish, and we'll let our judges go off just to fill in the scores and to contemplate any further questions they might want in the future. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. We'll see everybody in a couple of minutes for our next pitch, which will be Mycelium. So now looking into the room, if I can see the representative from Mycelium, please.
Yes, I'm here, Mohammed.
Mohammed, let me see, where are you? There you are. If you can come on onto the web. There you are. Great, got you. Good, Mohammed. So there'll be a couple of minutes now, as you know, whilst the judges score. We'll then do your pitch, and then we'll come to you for your answers. So we'll see everybody in a couple of minutes.
Most
Okay then, so thank you Radu for being back in the room and ready. Amnon and Frederick, how are we doing please? There he is, there's Amnon, wonderful. And then and there's Frederick. So thank you everybody, we're all back and we're all ready. Unfortunately, I did make a small mistake there. I started the presentation. Hopefully we'll get the presentation back at the start in a moment. So here we have Mycelium, which I try to grow in my own woodland, but here we are, Mycelium.
Most countries, including Egypt, suffer from the accumulation of solid waste. Egypt consumes more than 3 million meters square of plastic foam alone each year, that taking thousands of years to decompose. On the other hand, Egypt produces more than 44 million tons of crop waste annually. Most of this waste is burned to get rid of. This is a major contributor to Cairo being one of the most polluted cities in the world, with 80% of its population breathing in polluted air. But this challenge has created an opportunity. I am Mohammed Fawzi, co-founder and CEO of Mycelium. Today, I will share with you how my team and I use mushroom to convert agriculture waste into entirely new class of material, which perform a lot like plastic. The uses of this material are endless, since it is a such great substitute for foam plastic. It can easily be used in the manufacturing of packaging, insulation panels, and as leather substitute. It is totally compostable at the end of their life, which supports circular economy. And here we come up with a deal. We buy agriculture waste from local farmers for 55 cents per meter square. Then we convert it using our Mycelium technology into structural insulation panels and selling each 1 meter square for €6 for B2B of prefabricated home contractors in Egypt. We targeted 50% of €2 million, which is the market of structural insulation panel in Egypt. New regulations have been applied in recent years in the Egyptian construction market that requires a new building to use sound and heat insulation. So this market in Egypt is growing by 5% per year. We have opportunity to build in styrofoam plastic global market, which have market share more than €8 billion, 6.8 million euros is the market size of styrofoam that used in construction as insulation panels globally. Mycelium insulation panels are positioned as an alternative that costs 50% less and provides the same features and the capabilities as traditional insulation panels. And because it's high U value, it can save up to 40% of electricity bill. It is also fire and humidity proof, free of harmful volatile compounds, and most importantly, when it comes time for it to be discarded, it will be decomposed in soil within 55 days. So it is very compatible with circular economy. Mushroom cells called the mycelium can transform any crop waste into our new material in a simple 4 steps that is cost and energy efficient process. And this is what happened in our 300 meter square pilot plant. All starting with pasteurization of the straw, followed by the addition of the mushroom cells, which is called the mycelium. The mixture is then placed into mold, and within 7 days, the magical transformation takes place and the straw changes into a new class of material. We differentiate ourselves from other competitors as we have a unique offering, since no other material in our country offer eco-friendly building material. We use agricultural waste, which is sustainable source, instead of fossil fuel, which is abundant liquid. Now we have a pending patent and building a national research center that our material have low R value, other alternatives. We were able to 50 architects and 13 distributors the market of temporary homes in Egypt. We are assumed that people wanted to buy eco-friendly building materials, but we soon realized that it's all about the price and the performance. We worked more and more to produce our material not only in economic way, but also to enhance its performance. So we easy for the to sell. Our financials show that with a market share of 50% of our market, we can reach a profit of more than 5 million euros, which is a key driver we are developing varieties of the product. We can keep use from to grow material rather than manufacturing it with fossil fuel, and also we use agricultural waste, which is abundant locally. 3% of meter square of my time fossil fuel to produce this. Mycelium material is low material.
Oh, Mohammed, did we miss a little bit there, or did it?
I think the sound is not so clear at the end of the pitch.
We just missed the last piece of the team. Would you like to just verbally finish off anything that was missed on the last bit of the team slide? I think you may have run.
I will let the jury panel ask so I can explain what they missed.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now then. Okay, well done on that. Well done. Very clear pitch indeed, and that was well delivered. So we now open up for questions from our judges, and if I can start off, please, with Frederick. Hello, Frederick.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thanks. I unfortunately, I think I couldn't hear really the last 4 slides. So not only the team slide. I think that's a bit I don't know if I also see Radu nodding. I think it's a bit unfair. Could we just try with the last?
Let's try and get back to that position. Just give me a second, everybody.
Yeah. I know it takes some time, but I think for competition.
Most countries, including Egypt, suffer from the accumulation of solid waste. Egypt consumes more than 3 million meters square of plastic from alone each year. That taking thousands of years to apply it in recent years in the Egyptian construction market that requires a new building to use sound and heat insulation. So this market is growing by 5. When it comes time for it to be discarded, it will be decomposed within 55 days. So it is very compatible with circular economy.
That's CVP.
Yeah, maybe you stop here. I mean, I don't hear any voice. I can't hear the voice. I would just look at the presentation more carefully.
Which is sustainable source instead of fossil fuel, which is abundant locally. Now we have vending patents and a certificate from Housing and Building National Research Center that our material have lower value and compared to other alternatives. We were able to speak with more than 50 architects and 13 distributors to understand the market of temporary homes in Egypt. We are assumed that people wanted to buy eco-friendly building material, but we soon realized that it's all about the price and the performance. So we worked more and more to produce our material not only in economic way, but also to enhance its performance. So we make it look like the industrial form to make it easy for the distributor to sell. Our financials show us that with a market share of 50% of our beach market, we can reach a profit of more than 5 million euros, which is a key driver key driver being cost and market size. We can bring down cost while we scaling up and using machines instead of hand. And because we are developing varieties of the product, we can keep our market share high. And because we are using the natural power of mushroom to grow material rather than manufacturing it with fossil fuel, and also we use agriculture waste, which is abundant locally, we are able to save 93% of equivalent CO2 per 1 meter square of mycelium insulation panels, and using 8 times less fossil fuel to produce the same amount of insulation panels. Our team has 24 years of cumulative experience, especially in the fabrication and production technology. Mycelium material is low-cost, eco-friendly material.
Okay.
Okay. So we've had quite a number of comments about that one not quite working properly. Sound was unclear from a number of people. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I hope that we can make sure that future presentations are okay. Did the judges all see enough of the presentation and hear enough? Yeah, Amnon was okay. Yes. Okay, we're all okay. So we think, Mohammed, that we've all heard enough to be able to ask you proper questions and understand your pitch well enough to Mark. So Frederick, over to you, please.
Yeah. I have a question about your financial model. I saw that I think the costs per customer are 51 euros, and then I think the revenues is like 1,000 something. So huge. I don't know if I got this right, but it looked like a huge profit per customer. Obviously, also very nice profit overall per year later on. But so I was just a bit surprised about this. Could you elaborate a little bit more on this? I mean, are customers willing to pay such a high price for the product?
Okay. The typical home requires 30 cubic meter of mycelium insulation panel to insulate. So I suppose that our business is targeted B2B of contractors or architects. So we suppose that every customer will buy from us about 30 cubic meter of structural insulation panel. And we have to pay around 51 euros to reach this a customer by making advertise on social network and hiring a salesperson who can commercialize our product on the ground.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Frederick. Let's move to Amnon, please.
Okay, so my question is regarding the patent pending that you mentioned. So I know that processes to create such insulations exist in other places, right? So what is special about your technology?
Okay, our technology depends on agriculture waste or crop waste as raw material. It is a sustainable source. Also, our factory located near farmers or agriculture lands, so we can collect them with a low amount of money. Another thing, we use a biotechnology that depend on growing of natural cells of mushrooms. Growing such cells require humidity and temperature, and we found that in Egypt, our temperature is typical for growing this organism in low energy. So we can produce this amount of material in cheap way other than other places.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that answer. That's interesting. And to Radu, please.
Yeah, my question was related to the biology of the process, and thinking about other geographies where, yeah, you mentioned humidity and temperature are not that, yeah, let's say optimal like in Egypt. Can you, I don't know, identify specific subtypes of that? Yeah, it's a mushroom, yeah, that can also be usable in some other more temperate or even colder regions? Because yeah, agricultural residues there are present everywhere.
Thanks for your questions. When you speak about biology, I love biology, so it is a very good question for me. Mushroom grow everywhere in the world. It have a fantastic ability to transform agriculture waste into this new material. Here in Egypt, we use mushroom that grow naturally in Egypt. And if we gonna make this project in another place with other conditions, we can search for another mushrooms or another types that can grow perfectly in these conditions. And I have friends from cold places where they found fantastic mushrooms that can grow on crop material, crop waste, and it can transform it to our insulation panel. They gives also a great result. So we still have opportunities in developing and researching in this new class material. It gives a lot of opportunity to make also a lot of alternatives for styrofoam or plastic.
Well done, Mohammed. Thank you very much. Well done, Radu, for that question. Mohammed, I know there was some problem with the volume, but I think our judges did actually hear everything okay. I certainly did all the way through. But if we do have any issues, we will make sure that the judges see the slides that they may not be clear on. So do not worry. If there is any problems, the judges will be able to get to everything to clarify.
Thank you,
Personally, oh, you're welcome. Personally, I thought your pitch was extremely well delivered again. In fact, the quality of the pitches today has been absolutely superb. And we've only got one left. I'm sitting here trying to find faults in the pitches, and I haven't managed to find very many. Mohammed, you did very, very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, judges, so we'll let you take some time now to mark that one up. So everybody will have a couple of minutes break whilst the judges do their work and whilst I mark up as well. And I need to just check that we have the representative from Second Life Storage, Leandra. Leandra, can you come on and just say hello so I can hear you?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can. We can hear you fine, and that's the most important thing. Well done, Leandra. So we'll hear from your pitch in a moment, and we'll come back to you for your answers, as you know, after the pitch. See you in a bit.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Great. Great. So that's Leandra, and he'll be back joining us for answers shortly. So everybody, a couple of minutes, and then we'll be back with the last pitch of the day. Okay, there's Radu, there's Amnon. So I'm just waiting now for Frederick. And there's Frederick. So all our judges are now ready. Leandra is waiting to take our questions, and therefore we can now start on our next pitch, the last one of the day. And we're going to hear from Second Life Storage.
Hi, I'm Leandre, and I'm with SLS, short for Second Life Storage. The world is turning to renewable energy and electric mobility as part of essential solutions to climate change, Africa included. And these technologies have something key in common. They rely on batteries. That's amazing, but there's one problem. Batteries have a very limited lifetime, and we have more than 100 tons of them retired already in Rwanda alone. So, what shall we do with all these batteries after the retirement? Shall we dump them in landfills, making them hazardous to people and to the planet we're trying to save in the first place? Or can we actually make something useful out of them, especially that they retain about 70% of their initial storage capacity when they are retired? And this is where SLS comes in. We are the link that will enable a circular economy approach in the battery market. We get battery cells from a US supplier at a cost of $50 per kilowatt hour. We build second life battery packs from repurposed cells, and we'll be providing energy storage as a service to telecom tower operators. This means that we'll not be selling the battery packs, but rather charging for available power backup capacity on a base fee of $20 per kilowatt per month. The telecom market is a perfect segment for our business since they rely heavily on a continuous power supply. Our beachhead market is the telecom industry in Rwanda, whose electricity backup component is valued at $13 million. We target a 30% market share, which will help us branch out into the East African region with a market valuation of close to $300 million. The total addressable market on the African continent is valued at $3.8 billion. We offer a new revenue stream to the US supplier, and we'll be helping them to avoid the cost of sending out the batteries waste for recycling at the same time. To the telecom operators, our batteries and our energy storage as a service model will offer a 43% cost reduction compared to a typical diesel generator every year. This is due to an avoided upfront cost and reduced operating cost. We are building a modular, tailable, and upgradable battery pack, and our advantage over current solutions is the energy storage as a service offering and the real-time monitoring platform we are building with it. This will offer power consumption optimization options and predictive maintenance, making towers more efficient and reliable to run. Our work and advisory from a world-class research lab at Carnegie Mellon University constitute a leap on R&D needed to safely repurpose batteries. Through site visits and discussions with a telecom tower operator managing 20 towers and building 60 more by next year, we have validated that, yes, an avoided capital cost for power backup systems is attractive in the market. Yes, system reliability is a high concern since they get penalties for network outages, and batteries are a top alternative for those key pain points. With a 30% market share in our beachhead market, we are targeting an annual profit of more than $1 million in year 5. Key drivers for this profit are net yearly charges, battery repurposing cost, and the market share. We'll be able to save more than 2,000 tons of CO2 emissions every year, which is equivalent to more than 100,000 trees planted per year. In addition, by using battery cells until their end of life, we'll be further offsetting emissions produced during mineral mining and battery production. We are disrupting the telecom market with cleaner and cheaper energy solutions, and we target to reach 4,000 towers in 20 years. We are also aiming to become the enabler of the sustainable adoption of renewable energy in electric mobility. Here's the team carrying this room. We share a passion for clean energy and a collective of more than 7 years of experience in the energy industry. Plus, we all have master's degrees from CMU, and I have prior tech startup experience working on water resource management using the Internet of Things. We are supported by Industry Innovation Lab at CMU Africa, and we are mentored by professors working on material science, power systems, and business strategy. Thank you.
Well, very well done indeed, Leandra, with your presentation. Are you actually based in Rwanda?
Yes, and thank you for the comments.
Okay, Great. Well done. So our judges will now be getting themselves ready for the final questions of the day, whilst I try and get the slides in lineup. Okay, so let's start with Radu, please.
Well, thanks for such a well-documented presentation. I'm wondering what would be the primary source of the batteries you would upcycling, and how are you, I don't know, preventing that kind of unethical behavior of sending a lot of rubbish in places like Africa that's practiced by more civilized country.
Yeah, thank you. I think I lost a few words, but I'm wondering, I'm guessing the question was, how are you avoiding to be sourcing rubbish from outside the continent to breed our product? And yes, to that, we are mainly sourcing the batteries in the region, in the African continent. There's a lot of batteries, mainly for the off-grid solar systems. In the electrification effort of the African continent, they've been focused on off-grid and mini-grid systems because the cost of grid extension has been too high in many remote regions. So for that, we get a lot of batteries from off-grid, mainly powered by solar panels. So that's one of the main sources for our batteries. But also there's an uptake of electric motorcycle batteries. And this is very good to us because these batteries from mobility applications get retired with fairly good quality because quality is a very high concern in the mobility applications. So with this uptake, we are envisioning like more battery waste stream from these electric motorcycles and a few electric vehicle companies as well. So we are not really trying to source our waste from outside the continent.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Radu. Thank you, Leandro. Amnon, can I come to you now, please?
Yeah, thank you. It's a very important goal what we're doing. I have a question regarding the lifetime of the battery packs. So currently, what's the expected lifetime of such a thing? And what are the main challenges that you're facing with getting it and extending it?
Yeah, thank you. That's an important question for the battery repurposing. Usually the lifetime of batteries in their first application is about 10 years. That depends on usage and application. And in our case, we estimate 5 years of usage in the second life application. And that reduction is mainly due to the mismatches of the battery cells you get when you are building the second life battery packs. We expect that with the way of like dealing with mismatches is like balancing the batteries, and during the balancing, when you do active balancing, you kind of cycle the batteries faster or more often than in new applications. So that's actually also like the key challenges in the battery repurposing. Because of the mismatches between the battery cells, you have to go through more often and more frequent balancing that puts on more cycling activities on the battery cells, making them age even more. But also we expect that after the 5 years, we do the other thorough testing of the battery cells and see if they can be put together in other packs and still be delivered for low demanding applications until their period of life. So our estimates now is the 5 years in the second life applications.
Good, well done. Thank you, Amnon. Thank you, Leandro. Over to Frederick, please.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for the great presentation. One thing I didn't fully understood is you talked about energy storage as a service. So what is that whole service aspect about it? Well, I assume the customer doesn't own the battery storage product, but yeah. So what's the service part of it?
Yeah, that's the emphasis on not owning but leasing, because for that we say it's a service because they have backup capacity or backup ability on their sites, but they don't have to own the equipment, the assets. So that avoids them the upfront cost of acquiring the assets. So they get the assets on a leasing basis, on a leasing fee. So that's what we refer to the service we're getting. We're servicing them with the power backup capabilities that they don't have to invest like in a high upfront cost to be able to access.
All right.
Okay.
We have time for just one more question, please, anybody. Frederick, would you like to follow on or?
No, I think I'm fine.
Amnon?
It's
okay, and Radu? It looks like you've got all of your judges convinced, Leandra. Well done.
Yeah, I'm happy. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Oh, no, you've done a really good presentation there. Thank you for your time. Well done. Now, everybody that's still on the call, that concludes our presentations for today in what has been quite a compelling series of well delivered pitches. Now, I think I've got a couple of slides that I'm supposed to finish off with, so I'm just going to do that. And that looks like it. That is it. So if I can ask everybody that's here to just come on screen and give your final wave to each other. Well done to all of you.
That's it. Great job, teams. You pitched your socks off and the semi-finals are now done. Fingers crossed. I wish you could all make it to the grand final, but it's not on me, it's on the jury. The top 2 teams from each topic win access to the grand final. There are 2 wildcards for teams that did not end up in the top 2, but impressed the jury anyway. That makes 16 teams to battle out for the global win, and all top 16 teams get access to the ClimateLaunchpad accelerator. You can now relax for a bit, but if you feel restless and want to prepare for the grand final, practice the Q&A part, as the judges in the grand final are even more driven to ask some difficult questions. So that's maybe something you can prepare a little bit more on. You can watch your Q&A from the semi-finals tomorrow at 9 CEST online, as we will put all pitches on our global final website. Feel free to share the link with everyone in your network, on your social channels, your family, just everybody. Tomorrow we start at noon CEST, and former ClimateLaunchpad participants will then share their stories and let you in on their secrets to success, lessons learned, and also mistakes that are made. And of course, we will announce the top 16 teams. Thank you for your great work today. Get some rest, and I'll see you tomorrow.